Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a little review. It's going to be a very brief review on a little mini truck. I call it an entry-level truck. Can you guess what it is? It's Japanese, it's small, it's a smaller version of a Titan. And yeah, can you guys guess? Anyways, we'll be reviewing a 2006 Nissan Frontier. Now, I've had many opportunities to review this car. I'm gonna give you a little walk around. I had many opportunities to review this car, but I kept putting it off because I felt like, I don't know, I wasn't too excited to review it, to be honest with you. But my brother is selling it. My brother's been driving it and it's been in my driveway for around 6 months. So my brother's gonna sell it now, so I might as well just get it over with and do it. So this one is, as I mentioned, a 2006 Nissan Frontier. I'm gonna talk a little bit about the specs, the displacements that it's available in, and I'm gonna talk about its competitors. So the Nissan Frontier comes in King Cab and it comes in Crew Cab. So this one is a Crew Cab. How do you know? It has the full 4 doors. A King Cab, I'm sorry, is other trucks call it extended cab. So it's like it's got like a half a door in the back, if you want to call it that. So that's what a King Cab is. King Cab is just a little bit smaller. It comes in displacements. The Frontier comes in 2 different displacements. It comes in a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder, or it comes in a 4.0 liter V6. So that's a lot of liters, guys. 4.0 6-cylinder. And the 2.5 liter does come in, it has 154 horsepower. So, you know, it's not too bad, I guess. Actually, it's really bad. And the V6, the 4.0 liter V6 comes in it comes with 265 horsepower, which is like over 100 horsepower jump. So that's fairly reasonable. I mean, if I was going to choose, obviously I'm going to take the 4.0 liter, right? The transmission in these cars, it's nice. What I like about the Nissans is, or at least the Frontier and these smaller trucks, is that you have the option of manual and or automatic. So the Frontier comes in either a 5-speed or a 6-speed or an automatic. So that's good. It gives you that range of options. The car seats about 5 people. So you have room a little bit in the back for 3 people, and then passenger and driver side. Now let's talk about MSRP. Now the starting price in these cars, if you look at the car overall, it's very plain, very normal. Nothing really like wow about this car in terms of like design or technology. Actually, I really feel like this car is all like mechanical. It's just like the engine that really matters. Everything else is really like put off to the side, because the interior design is very like plastic. If you look at the dashboard, I don't know if you can see that. It's very plastic. I mean, it's well put together. I mean, I've driven other plastic cars like Fords and Chevys and Lincolns and all that. So this is well put together plastic, if you want me to be honest with you. Like, I don't feel like anything's rattling in the interior of the car while I'm driving. But I feel like the main focus is just on like the engine, transmission, like mechanically. Technology is very minimal in this car. Like, I don't even see like an option to engage or disengage like traction control. I don't see any of that options. So now these cars come in a rear-wheel drive, 2-wheel drive, or 4-wheel drive. This one happens to be a rear-wheel drive. It's only 2-wheel drive, so can't really off-road in it. It's nice because it comes in 13 trims. Now, I'm not going to go through each trim because I don't know everything about each trim, and I just know that the MSRP price range is around like $16,000 for the very basic model, and it can go all the way up to 27,000. 27,000 is going to be for your models of like the Nismo. The Nissan has like a Nismo edition, which is like a little bit of, like souped up, or like better suspension. It has like more options. It's like full options. So I'm going to talk about the competitors now. I have another Japanese competitor and an American competitor. Only if you guys can guess what those are. So let's continue talking about the competitors. So there's a Japanese competitor and there's an American competitor for the Nissan Frontier. I would say the first Japanese competitor is going to be a Toyota Tacoma. So Toyota Tacomas are very successful trucks. So I would say that it would compare to the Nissan Frontier very well. It comes in 2 displacements. It comes in a 2.7 liter 4-cylinder, and that has around 154 horsepower. And then it also comes in a V6 4.0 liter, exactly like this engine in the Frontier, and that one has around 236 horsepower. So it's very comparable in like displacement and horsepower and all that. The next competitor is the American truck, which is a Chevy Colorado. Now that comes in 2 displacements as well. The first one is a 2.8 liter and that one has 175 horsepower. And then the second one, I don't like the second one. It comes in a 5-cylinder 3.5 liter. Like, I just don't get the concepts of 5 cylinders. Like, I think it's stupid. Anyways, that one, the 5-cylinder, has around 220 horsepower. So if it has a little bit less horsepower, considering it has 1 less cylinder than the V6 is in this one. So I've had bad experiences with 5 cylinders, so I just don't like them. Anyways, that's not our topic today. So overall, if you look at like the displacements and look at the numbers, the Frontier has a little bit of a better horsepower overall, and better just displacement and everything. So if I was gonna say anything about it, like online people's reviews, people prefer a Frontier over a Colorado, of course, and over a Tacoma. From personal experience, I've seen the opposite. I see more Tacomas on my day-to-day drive than I do a Frontier, even a Colorado. So I'm talking a little bit about the transmission in the other half of this video, and about like how I just really dislike the transmission in it. The car is very plain. There's nothing really exciting that makes me want to jump in the car when I wake up in the morning, so I can't wait to drive to work. I don't have that kind of a feeling in this car. I'm not going to test drive this car because this is just going to be a very brief, short video on the Frontier. One thing, like, this is an SE model, so it doesn't have like all your features of like leather and sunroof. It's very basic. So it has I call it like the beehive seats. So it's kind of like that kind of pattern. The car overall is very sturdy, so when you're driving it, you feel like you got all 4 wheels in contact with the ground, like, despite all the turns that you're taking, if you're taking rough turns. The cabin noise, I mentioned this later on. The cabin noise is, you don't really hear like the wind noise or anything, but you hear a lot of the fans. Like, the fans are really loud in the car. I don't believe it's the engine. I feel like it's more of the belts. So I mean, it could be fun, but at times it could be annoying when you have like a bunch of people in the car and you're trying to talk to them and stuff. If you're going high speeds or on the highway, that could be a little bit of a bother, but I mean, nothing that the radio can't cancel out, you know? Brakes, overall, I like the brakes in this car, to be honest with you. It's good responding, and I just wish the interior, like, if I was to compare it to the Tacoma has a much nicer interior. It has a little bit more features. It's probably a little more fun, and I think it's just more amusing. It's more exciting to be in. I don't know what to say about this car, to be honest with you. Overall, out of 5, I would give this car, out of 10, I would give this car a 5. It gets the job done, that's the main thing. Like, you know, you have the bed of the truck, which is about 4 feet, I believe, I'm guessing, if that. So if you have little things to carry around, move around, it's gonna do the job. But as a day-to-day, like daily task, a Titan is better. It carries it more, it's bigger overall. So it just depends on your lifestyle and what you need more, I would say. I'm gonna show you the back a little bit. Ooh. Like, you can comfortably seat like another person in the back if you really need to. So that's a good option, I guess, of having a truck. So really, you could call it like, instead of 5-seater, you could fit like 2 people in the back of the bed, so it'd be like 7-seater to me. That's what I would consider it, I guess. So yeah, that's a nice option to have. The tailgate is really heavy. I think they should have like an electrical button to open and close the tailgate. Just saying. So you got that big V6 in it. It's very similar to the Titan, as I mentioned before. It's very similar. From a distance, you can get a little bit confused between the Titan and the Frontier. Like, it's got a very basic or very similar silhouette of a Titan, as I call it, silhouette. Especially the back. Like, the back, there's no, like, you can't even tell the difference if it wasn't for the Frontier emblem. And if you don't notice that it's scaled down, you can totally mix it up with a Titan, a Nissan Titan. So let's get back in here. As I said, this one is a 6-speed. Now, I like driving manual cars. I think manual cars are really fun to drive. It's fun because like I said, every manual transmission is different. So you have like, you could have reverse on the front, you can have reverse on the back, like in the after 6th gear or after 5th gear, you can have like reverse. You have to like pull up a knob in order to engage it into reverse, or you have to push it down to engage it in reverse. Like this one, you have to push it down, push the gear stick down in order to engage it in reverse. I have hiccups, I think. So that's what, like, I mean, every car is different. I've seen a lot of Frontiers that people fix them up for off-roading, especially the Nismos. So I'm sorry because I'm really sick, and that's why I sound like really bad, and I'm very disorganized with this video. It's because I'm sick, but I did want to get the chance to do this before my brother sells his car, and that should be like this weekend. So the first time I ever drove a manual was my dad brought home a Volkswagen GTI, and I love those cars. Those are such fun cars to drive. So my dad taught me in that, and that was so simple. The transmission was gorgeous. Not gorgeous, the transmission was beautiful. That it's like very straightforward. When I learned how to drive a manual, I just knew exactly what I had to do, and like just push down the clutch, and it's not a heavy clutch, so you don't have to like put all your weight forward to get the clutch engaged, you know. So and then very smooth shifting, and it's just overall very great. You have other cars that I've driven that the transmission are not so smooth. Like this one in 1st gear, it just like jumps. Like if you don't balance it right, you're gonna go like flying off the traffic light or the stop sign or something. So you gotta be really careful. It's not a good car to start off with to learn how to drive a manual with. I don't recommend it. The only other I've driven I've driven SUV manual cars, which when I first started manual, I was like, it must be so difficult to drive a manual SUV. It must be a lot harder. That was my idea of it. I don't know why. I guess because they're bigger or whatever. But actually all those semi trucks that you see on the highways, that like Walmart transportation trucks and stuff, like all those are manual and they have like 16 gears and stuff. So when I found that out, I was like, oh my god, that's so cool. The first SUV that I drove was actually in manual, was a Toyota FJ Cruiser. So I was like, that's so cool. My dad was driving it. So my dad stopped on the side of the highway. I didn't know what was wrong. He stopped on the side of the highway, and he's like, Lamise, you're gonna drive now. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, wait, but it's a manual SUV. And my dad's like, so that doesn't make it any different. I'm like, isn't it harder? He's like, no. So he made me jump in, and I was so nervous because I'm on the side of the highway. I'm like, what if I go off first and I stall? And you know, you just get all these like ideas in your head. My dad's like, no, you can do it. He's like, it's not hard. You're gonna do it. You're gonna do fine. So I did it, and I didn't stall, and I didn't get a semi truck running over me because I stalled or something. No, I did good. I'm still alive. That's important. So my dad really believed in me, and he knew that I could do it because he knew how much I was passionate about cars. And he's like, if you're gonna like cars, or if you know, want to drive cars, you have to know how to drive all kinds of cars. Easy to learn on. Now, when I drove this car the first time, I don't think that I stalled. I don't remember, but like to get out of first gear, like if you're getting off a stoplight or off a driveway or something, like you really need to give it, like you feel like you need to like pedal down the throttle in order to kind of just make sure that you don't stall. So you feel like you jump because you're giving it so much throttle, but then if you don't, you're gonna stall. So I didn't like that about this transmission. It's like very frustrating. Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth gear is fine. Reverse is kind of like first gear, where you have to really press the throttle, give it a lot of throttle in order to like prevent stalling. I'm not gonna test drive this car because, I mean, we're gonna go on a drive, but I'm not gonna 0 to 60 it because, I mean, I don't know. I'm just not gonna do that today. I'm not feeling good. So, but back to our topic. Every manual car that you drive, every car that you drive feels different. It's totally different than the next car, right? So with the manual transmission, and for you car guys, you guys skip through this, but every car that you drive every manual car you're gonna drive, the transmission is gonna feel different. So like if you're driving a Porsche, it's gonna be totally different than if you're driving a Honda Civic in a manual. Like it's not gonna be the same. So you're gonna have to learn to adjust between each one. This, I don't recommend anyone learning on this, just because you don't want to like burn the clutch, because you're not able to get off first gear without stalling in the beginning. But now this one is a two-wheel drive, like I said. I gotta slow down here because it's a school zone, but I don't have much to say about this car. As you can tell, I really don't have too much to say, but on Edmunds and cars.com and all those car websites, like the Frontier got a very, very good rating. It got like 4.7 out of 5, 4.5 out of 5. Oh shoot. So it's got really good ratings. It got better ratings than the Tacoma and the Colorado, the Chevy Colorado. So overall, this is a favorite truck, and honestly, I never used to notice this car on the road until like my brother started driving it, and then I just started seeing them all over. So they're not very common, but so they're 6th gear. Racing this guy in an Audi S4. Yeah, if it was my personal choice, I would get a Tacoma because I think they look better, first of all. The interior interior is a little more amusing. It's a little more fun to be inside. And drivability, I think the drivability is the same if it's an automatic. So guys, that's it for today. No test drive or anything for this car, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about it. So I think I hit most of the key, like basic stuff. I just want to say thank you. Please subscribe to my channel. Please give me suggestions. If there's a certain aspect in cars that you guys want me to talk about, please do let me know. And please like, subscribe, and comment. That helps me a lot. I hope you guys have a great weekend and take care. Thank you for watching.